Record. Hello, beautiful humans. I love seeing all of your faces. Happy September 29th. We are officially down to 1.5 days left in left in September, which is so freaking crazy. I feel like this month just flew by, but I'm really excited for October. I'm really excited for tomorrow. I don't know. Raise your hand if you are actually starting 6 weeks of the work tomorrow. I know a lot of you are waiting until after Morning Meltdown or whatever program you're doing. Is anybody starting it tomorrow? I am, and I am so excited. I feel like I've been waiting for this program forever. So I'm going to jump right into some recognition, so I make sure that I give Jess and Erin enough time to share today. So, all right, I'm going to shout out everybody on the leaderboard real quick. So shout out to Billy, Paige, myself, Amanda, Courtney, Emily, Haley, and Alyssa for changing a life so far. Veronica and Kaylee for changing 2. Sam, Celiana, and Izza for changing 3 lives and hitting Success Club 6. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just locked in. Like, I am so locked in. I've been talking to so many people, and just like like I said, there's a day and a half left. Like, there's no reason you can't change 3 lives in that time. So don't count yourself out, and especially with the launch tomorrow, just like bring your most excited self. I'm really excited about it. So just bring your energy and go out with the gift that you know you have. I'm going to read a quote that really hit me in my PD. I want to share it with you guys, but I'm going to share it in a minute. So also shout out to Veronica. It's actually me for Jordan, and then Penny is actually his stepmom. So yeah. So shout out to you guys for recruiting a coach this week, and then also to Veronica, Abby, Amanda, Izza, and Livy for being our top 5 personal volume babes on the board. And our coach of the week is Samantha. And I was thinking about this before I made our leaderboard and everything, and honestly, like, you just deserve it. Like, you really do. You have come so freaking far, and watching you grow, I know I say this to you all the time, but seriously, watching you grow is just one of the best things ever. You're such a freaking leader. You have your blinders on. You have just, like, your mindset. I can just tell, like, you're putting in the work and you're showing up so consistently, and your girls are so freaking lucky to have you as a leader. So I really wanted you to be coach of the week this week because you just really deserve it. So shout out to you, and shout out to all the babes on the board. And remember, there's a day and a half left. Do not count yourself out. Every single day counts. And remember, guys, like, okay, this is going to be like deep. This is what Livy and I always say, like, but what is time? Like, what is time really? In the grand scheme of things, like, okay, like, the month ends, but it's still another day. Like, you get to wake up. You got to wake up today. Hopefully you'll get to wake up tomorrow, and like, whoever is on the other side of that message from you, like, they need you to show up. They need you to offer this gift to them. So don't count yourself out, and don't, like, stop sending those messages just because it's the end of the month and you'll just wait till next month. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Real talk. All right, some quick announcements. You should have gotten an email with a new promo code for 6 weeks of the work. You get one promo code with $20 off. And if people already purchased a challenge pack, you can also use it for $10 off a completion pack. Next thing, Pumpkin Spice Shakeology is out, but I think they're gonna try and do another shipment of it. And if you purchase 2 or more boxes of it when they do the next shipment, or when the peppermint mocha comes out, you actually get free shipping. So I'm hyped about that. And it's just delicious. So I'm really excited for peppermint mocha as well. And then the next thing, guys, next month, I am so freaking excited for this because Beat Your Best Month, they do this every single year, and it is so much fun because I don't know about you guys, but I get a little competitive, especially when it's with myself. And I'm like, okay, Mad, you've done this, you've changed this amount of lives in a month before. Like, what is stopping you from doing that again? But it's really cool because this year they decided to add in volume. You can either be your best success club or your best volume. And for the volume, it's selling volume. So it is whatever you personally sell to your coaches and your new customers. So it's not team volume. It's not team volume, but it is personal volume and your personally sponsored coaches. I hope that makes sense. It was a little bit confusing, but if you need more details, go read the FAQ on it. And then I did want, this was in our Diamond like insider little update, so not all of you get this, and they'll probably announce it later on in the month. But I did want to give you guys a heads up so that you can start setting money aside now, that they are going to do a summit ticket deal, and it's going to be $155 from October 25th to November 4th. I can't see it behind the thing. Yeah, November 4th. So make sure you guys are setting aside money. That is like really fucking cheap. I think the lowest they ever go is 145, and I don't know if they'll do that again. So 155 is seriously a fucking steal, and you need to be at Summit. Like, if you're on this call, you need to be at Summit, because if you're serious about your business, you're going to make it a priority and you're going to be there. It's life changing, it's business changing. Like, it is just, it's just going to change your life. So like, you have to be there, no matter what. So make it happen, set that money aside, sell 3 challenge packs, and fucking buy your ticket. Okay. Make that your goal this month. All right. Quick couple announcements. If you didn't already opt in for the business alerts, it's really, really cool. I really like that they did that. It's a cool update. And then, like I said, Peppermint Mocha is coming out on November 1st. So about a month until that. And then the Vegan Beach Bar, I am hyped for. So I did want to mention, I know you guys, a lot of you are waiting until you finish your program or whatever you're waiting for. I know your schedules are going to be different than mine next month, but 6 Weeks of the Work does come out tomorrow. And I did want to mention that Morning Meltdown will be available on Beachbody On Demand on October 1st. So available to everybody. So you have to know this as far as what challenge packs are going to start offering people. So knowing which programs, which challenge packs, which completion packs you can start talking about to people and what the prices are. So make sure you are updated on all of that so that you know what to tell people when they ask, what the prices are. So if you don't know all of the details on 6 Weeks of the Work, probably after this call or tomorrow, I gotta actually write it in my schedule. I'm gonna create a whole like 6 Weeks of the Work information guide like we did for Morning Meltdown. So I'm excited about that, but I know you guys won't probably use that until a little bit later in the month. So check out the FAQ if you want some more details on that, but it comes out tomorrow. And then just real quick, our week at a glance. National Wake Up Call, Team Elevate Team Call. There is an Emerald University on Wednesday, so make sure you tag your new coaches in that. And then on Sunday, we're going to, every week for my personally sponsored coaches, we're going to be continuing after our team call. So this starts tonight. After this team call, just re-click the link and we're going to jump on and talk for like 30 minutes. So it'll be real quick, but we got to put in the work because we're so fucking close to elite. It's driving me insane. Okay. And I want to make sure I'm like talking one-on-one with you. All right, so enough of me talking. I'm so freaking excited to have Jess and Erin speak tonight. And they sent me their topic. I can't remember it right off the top of my head right now, but I'm so excited to have them talk and just hear from you guys. So I will stop sharing, and I don't know whether you guys have a presentation, but you can unmute yourselves and go right ahead.
Okay. I guess I'm going first. First, I apologize. I swear a lot. So if you have kids in the room, I apologize. But I'm just gonna roll with it. Also, I stutter, so like bear with me. But Erin and I were talking about using your past and how to use that with your business. But before we kind of dive into that, I want you guys to do a fun activity. I know it's a bit cryptic. I'm like, hey, let's just dive into our past, but it's fine. So first, I want you guys to take a moment to write down a few experiences that you are holding on to that are no longer serving you. Like you can type it in the chat or write it on a piece of paper, anything. I know for me, something that I'm holding on to that doesn't serve me anymore would be I come from a divorced family and it's like a broken home. So that's kind of going with it. I guess I'll just wait until you guys are a little bit done. Love it, Sam. I know you guys are holding on to things, so. Okay. So once you have those written down, I want you to scribble it, rip it up, set it on fire, whatever. I set mine on fire to help myself feel better. Because those don't get to limit you. Your past doesn't get to limit to where you guys are now. It doesn't get to limit where your business is going. So throw your computer right out the window. I know I need a new one anyway, so I'll just throw it out the window. But so like I said, my example, I come from a divorced family, which is labeled as like a broken home. And I use that for the longest time as I'm unlovable. I'm broken. I can't succeed. But Melissa Ambrosini, Mastering a Mean Girl, she taught me that fuck that. It's not, your past does not define you. You need to learn how to make peace with your past and use it as fuel to run your business and to be successful and to just move forward, because there are people out there in the world that are just like you that need to hear that experience that you went through, that you just need to find the other yous in the world. Like Maddie always says, find the other yous. Use those experiences and share them. I share that by saying, like, I give love now and I'm not broken. So overcoming that and showing how I overcame the whole broken home is going to reach so many other people. Like, I know I've connected with other girls just from that. And now that you've like put that out in the universe, and now that you know that that's holding you back, you're going to be able to stop yourself every time that thought comes into your mind. And if you need to like paste it everywhere on your walls, you need to put it on your mirror, put it next to your phone or your alarm, anything in your car to stop you, then that's what you need to do. That's what I do. I remember Maddie specifically telling me, put your goals everywhere to just get through and be successful. But sorry guys, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. So by doing that, it's just like a simple shift. It's a simple shift in how you operate and change your mind forever. It's gonna make sure your business successful. Like, look at Kate Schultz, look at Ashley, look at Maddie, look at Sam, look at Liv. Everybody's sharing their past and everything that they're going through, and they're being so successful with it. I know personally for me, and I've gotten called out on it many times, like, I hold my past private, and I started sharing more of my past, and I feel like it's going to make us successful, because look at everybody. Look how successful everybody is just by sharing their experiences, because it's you, and it's your story. It's you, and you're going to connect with so many other people. But once you own up to your past, once you get that out of your mind, you're going to be more confident, and you're going to change who you are. And it's going to be the best thing for you. And you're going to be more confident and comfortable in your journey. And you just have to share your shit and how it makes you strong and how it makes you capable and how you can just thrive, because the past doesn't fucking matter. Just share your shit. Because at the end of the day, we're going to thrive. We're not just surviving, we are thriving in this business, and we got to use everything we can to thrive, including the shit that we've gone through. So stop letting it hold you back. And it's just going to hurt you mentally if you keep holding all that shit in and not sharing. It's just going to fucking hurt you and your business in the end. So you just got to share it. And if people don't like it, fuck them. They don't need to be in your life anyway. So that's pretty much all I've got. But there's one little paragraph from Mastering a Mean Girl that I really wanted to read. I don't know who's read it, but I feel like it resonated with me a lot. And she said, I believe everything we are dealt in life is an opportunity for growth, even the deep, dark, painful stuff. There are lessons, messages, and nuggets of wisdom in every experience. Our job is to open our awareness, find the nugget, and embrace the learning. Because we fucking need to. This is our business. But, yeah, I got a little bit hot-headed, but now it's Erin's turn. And if I talked too fast, then I'll type it in the chat if you guys want to know anything else. Sorry.
Hey everyone, so my name is Erin, and for those of you guys who don't know, I am a teacher, full-time teacher and technical director for a drama program. And being a teacher, I'm constantly reviewing stuff with my kiddos. And so I decided we don't really take enough time to kind of review and talk about the stuff that we've been talking about in these team calls and how they kind of all connect to one another. And so when me and Jess were kind of talking about our topic, you know, this kind of relates because it's talking about our past, but like, you know, good things in our past from our team calls. So I kind of thought I would take a second before I dive a little bit more into what I wanted to talk about in relation to this topic to kind of review and talk about how our stuff relates, all of these team calls kind of that we've been doing lately relate kind of to one another. So my first thing that I wanted to talk about, and also preface, I was a government teacher, so if you hear a little bit about that kind of stuff, that's where it's coming from. But especially this first thing, which is socialization. And this kind of plays into the whole mindset topic that we had when Billy and Sam talked. So when we grow up as a kid, we are like this sponge, right? We absorb all the stuff around us. You know, what our parents do, what our friends do, anything that's in our environment, that kind of helps to create who we are today. And that kind of builds our mindset in terms of how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about other people, how we feel about just things in general in our life. And so because we are sponges and because by the time we get to adults, our habits, which leads to Paige and Alyssa's topic, become really, really hard to change as an adult. Because of all these things that we've absorbed growing up, our habits are hard to change and we start fearing that change. But in relation to this week, we don't have to let those past things define who we are. We don't have to let those things make the decision for us going forward in our journey to be, we have to stay that same person just because, you know, someone did something in our lives or we've learned about something from someone. That stuff doesn't really matter. Using that to move forward, say, yeah, I've gone through this stuff, I've done this experience, whatever, will help create your business even stronger because people are going to realize, well, if she's done that, maybe you don't have this awesome transformation story, but you can talk about like, well, yeah, I didn't need to lose a ton of weight, but my mindset was in the gutter. I didn't feel confident about myself, even though maybe, you know, you aren't super heavy or whatever, or you know, had a lot of self-doubt or whatever it might be, but you can use those stories that you've had that have come from your past to create who you are today and show people, this is why I'm confident. This is why I'm happy all the time. You know, I wasn't always a positive person. The quote that me and Jess really talked about when we were talking about this topic was actually my quote for the month of September. So on my wall, I have a quote for each month. And my quote for the month of September was, don't let past thoughts define who you are. Don't let your yesterday define your today. Because if you let the things that happened the day before or the things that have happened in your past create who you are today and tell you and dictate what you're going to do for your future, you're not going to get anywhere. So you use those stories to your advantage. So for example, I have two sisters and they are freaking gorgeous. I grew up next to them being the like heavier sister. They didn't really have to work out. They could eat whatever they wanted. And, you know, they had that kind of body, right? And I had to work really hard to stay in shape. I couldn't eat whatever I wanted. You know, if I wanted to take pictures with them and feel confident, I would have to be like work out all the time. I would just like constantly be running, or then I'd eat like a whole entire tray of brownies and then feel really bad and then go run for like 3 hours. And so I was letting, you know, that kind of dictate who I was, even as I got older. And so going through this journey and starting this fitness journey for myself, I really realized that, you know, we've been talking about how we shouldn't compare ourselves to other people. Well, I was doing that my entire life, and I wasn't ever going to feel confident and happy with myself until I stopped doing that. So learning from that past. So yeah, I didn't necessarily have a crap load of weight to lose. I didn't necessarily have, you know, all these other things to talk about in my journey, but my journey has been 110% mindset, because I was you know, stuck in my brain that I was this mean person. I had it stuck in my brain that I wasn't confident and I wasn't pretty because of growing up with my sisters and comparing myself to them. And so if we don't use these past things to help us grow, we're never going to push ourselves forward. If we don't have some type of, you know, looking at our challenges that we faced in our life and realizing, yeah, it sucked at the time, or it's sucking now, but I'm growing because of this. If we don't have those experiences, we're never going to grow. We're never going to push ourselves forward. Or if we don't look at those experiences as a growth mindset kind of thing, we're never going to grow and never turn into our full potential and the person that we could be. And so really all of these things that we've been talking about, all of, you know, our past, including these past calls, are making us who we are. And we need to use all of that stuff. Another quote that really stood out to me, but obviously I'm also a Harry Potter nerd, so if you follow me, you'd see a lot of Harry Potter stuff, but is one from Dumbledore, and it's, our choices make us who we are, far more than our abilities. So we decide how to use these things that have happened in our lives. We decide how our past experiences define who we are today, whether it's positive or negative. We decide, you know, what our next step is and how that choice is going to affect us. I constantly tell my kiddos at school, like, you can either decide to turn your homework in today and how is that going to affect you in the future, or you cannot, because, you know, one day you're not going to all of a sudden just start getting A's, right? If you're getting F's now, you're not going to get an A one day because you're not using your time wisely. You're not using the skills that you're developing, because a lot of kids realize that middle school doesn't really count. Grades don't really count towards your GPA. And so they just don't really care. But same with our journey, same with our business. If we're saying, oh, well, I'm a new coach, so I can't hit the same Success Club points as this other person who's been doing it for a while. Oh, I'm a new coach, I can't, you know, gain the amount of followers, whatever it might be. We can't use that as an excuse, because if we use that as an excuse, we're never going to grow. Because these things that we're doing now that all will become our past eventually is what's causing us to move forward. These difficulties are causing us to be an even better person tomorrow and the next day and the next day. It's a ripple effect and it will continue. And so same with your mindset, same with your habits, same with your fears. If you continue to let them dictate your life, you're never going to change and you're never going to move forward, and your past is going to continue to define who you are. So, I talked really fast. But a really quick review again of kind of what we've been talking about and how it relates all back to this is socialization. We are socialized from a very early age, and that's going to determine who we are as a person today, but we don't have to let that determination make us who we are in the future. It's hard to change, especially as an adult, but the fun part is that we get to see ourselves change, and we appreciate it so much more as an adult than we would as a kid. And so don't let the habits that are, you know, holding you back, don't let the fear of change make you hold yourself back from your potential, because we have the potential to do great things, and we are so close to hitting elite as a team, which is a great potential, that we need to stop letting our fears and our habits from the past dictate our future. And so we all should be working towards using these past journeys to help, you know, grow our team and help women around us and people around us, not just women, with this journey, because our past is going to help them relate to us, and our past is going to help them realize that they're not alone and that they can do this. And, you know, the perfect Instagram world that we oftentimes display as all sunshines and rainbows is not actually real life. That we can share, like, this is not a great time in my life, and own up to it. Me and Mad talked about it because of that a lot, actually, on one of my one-on-one calls with her, because towards the end of last year and my summer kind of really sucked. But I posted about, you know, my trip and all that excitement, even though at the time my grandfather had passed away. I lost a huge thing within my job that I was really passionate about. It was given to someone else. My boyfriend at the time broke up with me because he was physically unattracted to me, even though I had been kicking butt at working out and stuff like that. So all of these terrible things And, you know, I wasn't sharing that. I wasn't showing people that experience. Instead, I was using that, I was using my trip, and I was using, you know, traveling and all that fun, exciting things as a way to cover and not actually own up and use those past experiences to help reach out to other people. So use your past. Don't let it define you, because don't let those negative experiences continue that negative thought process, because you're going to get stuck in that negative, ever revolving door and not be able to get out of it. Work for the positive, and try, even though it may be really, really hard, continue to try to seek the positive, because the positive is going to be a lot harder to get to. The negative is going to slip in way easier than the positive is. And so hold on to that positive, hold on to that light, and it will get you through to the other side no matter what. So that is what I have for you guys.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. And you know what? Like, you just sharing that last part about, you know, your past summer, and like watching everyone's face, like they zoned in on what you were saying and like your emotions towards it. And that's exactly what people on social media do. Like, when you're open and when you're vulnerable, when you share that like hard spot, everybody else is like, oh my gosh, wow. Like, that takes like a lot of like courage to share that. And like, I relate, I feel that. But guys, that was so good. I do want to ask you both real quick, what do you think, so as far as, you know, moving from your past and allowing your past to like really teach you and serve you, like what things in your life, or like what things do you do every day that have really allowed you to like come to peace with that? Like, what tools, I guess is my question, allow you to like work through that to move forward? If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
It does. Because I was dealing with it for like a really long time, up until you and I had that one-on-one for like an hour. And like you handed me a lot of tools to deal with it, and you didn't even know that I was holding on to my past. So, I mean, I know for me, I don't know how Erin overcomes it, but I know for me, like, it's a lot of personal development. It's a lot of like self-talk, like in the mirror. Like, it's a lot of me yelling at myself in my car saying, you are not that fucking girl anymore. Nobody can walk all over you anymore. You are not broken. You are fucking strong. Like, I literally scream it. It's probably not the best option, but it works for me. Like, I literally yell at myself in the car and give myself those pep talks, because it's what I need. And if that's how I have to do it, then that's how I have to do it. And it's working. So, and it's posting things up on my mirror, and it's being a part of the team as well, because you guys all go through shit too. So just being a part of the team just shows me that I can fucking do it. Like, it's leaning into the team. Just lean into it. Do the positive self-talk. Do the fucking personal development. And that's just what it is. And if you have to set the papers on fire that are limiting you to be successful in this business, then set them on fire, because it might work.
I love that. That's so good. No, like for real, just first of all, the car thing, that's me to like a T. Car is like where I just let everything out, and it's like my peaceful place, like where I can like jam really fucking hard to whatever I need to listen to that day, and then like come to peace, and then I listen to a podcast. Like, so I love that, like taking that time. I think it's more so also like understanding that the car is like taking that time to be with yourself and like really talk to yourself and move through whatever you're thinking. So Erin, did you have anything you wanted to share?
Yeah, I was going to say I do, so I always do 2 personal developments all the time, or I started to when I got more serious about doing this coaching thing again. So I do an audible in the car, always for my commute, because my commute is it's pretty short. It's like 15 to 20 minutes. And so I do my audible. I'm like, it's like a deal I make with myself. I'm like, okay, if I do my audible in the car on the way there and back, then I can listen to music while I'm at work, you know, on my planning period or whatever. And that's my music time. And then I read a book at home too, because I've realized not necessarily that I need more, but I need, you know, that time to be listening, because fun fact, you only remember 10% of what you read. You will remember 20% of what you listen to. You will remember 60% if you talk to someone, or no, 70% if you talk to someone about it, and you will remember 90% if you teach someone about it. So if you're just reading, you're going to get a lot from the personal development, but you probably, you know, you're not going to absorb as much as you think you are. If you listen to something, you're going to absorb that much more. If you talk to someone about it, so I make it part of my daily kind of routine or weekly routine to talk to someone about what I've been reading. And a girlfriend of mine at work, actually, I keep like passing her all the books that I've read, and so she reads them after me, so we're able to talk about it. And then at some point, I often use little nuggets that I've learned in this as my like quote of the week for my students, and so then we talk about it, kind of, you know, and it's a little bit more on a basic level with my kiddos, but that just helps you to remember it a little bit more because you're teaching someone about it. So, I mean, you don't have to be a teacher to be teaching someone about it. You can be talking to a coworker, you can be talking to girls on your team, you can be talking to people within your challenge group, because if you don't try and teach someone else, you're not going to kind of really realize how much you're absorbing or not, right? And I've noticed that my PDs start affecting me a lot more when I talk to someone about it, when I start teaching someone about what I've been, you know, listening to, what I've been doing. Your workouts are going to be the same way. Once you start talking and teaching people about what you do, it's going to affect you that much more. So I listen to books and I read books. Another thing I do is I like to take lots of pictures. And I don't necessarily post all those pictures, but when I'm feeling like, you know, oh my gosh, that self-doubt coming in, like, you are not looking good this week, you are, you know, you aren't eating that great, that's why you're doing that, blah, 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 right? Whatever it might be, I go and take like selfies in my mirror, or sometimes I like play dress up, and like I'll get my hair done and I'll do like my makeup all cute and put on a cute outfit and like take pictures in the mirror. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, I delete all the pictures later. But then I realized, like, no, you're good looking, you know, you've got this, you don't need to, you know, worry about all those self-doubt that's coming in. I do a crap load of sticky notes. I always have 1 or 2 stuck to my mirror. I have 1 or 2 at work. My students have been like taking pictures with my, what's it called? Polaroid camera. And then they've been of me and then writing like little cute notes, and they've been sticking them in my desk. I don't know when they do this, but I keep finding them in there. And so this kind of stuff is going to rub off on the people around you, and that's going to make you like 20 times happier, because they're going to be doing all these things along with you without you necessarily realizing that you're helping people do that. I have a guy at work now that literally texts me every single time he's reached his fulfillment of water for the day, because like I've been talking about how it's necessary to drink your water. Like all this stuff is going to start like rubbing off on people without you even like realizing, because your joy and your happiness that you're bringing to everyone from doing these PDs, from you know, making yourself happy first, is just gonna like completely make a ripple effect without you even freaking realizing it, which is the craziest part. Like I was like, I'm gonna start back into this business kind of slowly, I'm just gonna, you know, feel the waters out, whatever, because I was like, I don't really know, you know, I just wasn't really sure, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself, or I didn't want to, you know, drop off the face of the earth again. And so, but like realizing when people come up and talk to me about it, when I get a daily text from like my mom or my grandma where they're like, literally your posts are what we wake up to every single day, because that makes us happy and it helps create our, you know, better day. My grandma, who has serious back problems, has started walking every single day because I've been posting about my fitness journey. Like all of these things, like maybe you're not going to necessarily get someone new to your like group. Maybe you're not going to necessarily change a life with like getting them to start Beachbody, because my like 80-plus-year-old grandma is probably not going to be doing Beachbody just because of where she is right now, but she's walking, which we didn't think she was going to be doing anytime soon again. Like all of this stuff has a ripple effect, and you're going to be changing lives whether you realize it or not, because people are going to be like, wow, that girl's happy, I want to be like her. Wow, that girl is getting in killer shape, how do I do that? You know, how do I find the fire that she has? Because right now in my life, I don't have that fire. For me, coaching, it's not a means to an end of a job. I love my job, and I'm going to keep teaching for, until probably I have kids and I don't know, schedules don't work anymore, but whatever, like I love teaching, and that was never my goal, was to, be out of a job that's unhappy. But coaching has become that happiness that helps my job that much more. Like I went through a year of, last year was like a super struggle year for me in terms of like teaching and stuff like that. And that's when Maddie reached out to me, was when I was not happy and not fulfilled in my job because of me not putting into myself enough. And so now that I put into myself enough, even on the hard days, the kids are like, Miss McKee, why are you so happy still? Like, we know you get up at the crack of dawn to like work out and do all of your crazy stuff. Why are you still happy? We've been little shits today, basically. And I'm like, because you know what? Tomorrow you're probably going to be better. And they're like, how do you know that? I was like, I don't know, but you know what? You have to keep thinking positively, because if you get stuck in this negative mindset, if you guys continue to make these choices, I'm going to keep believing in you guys and thinking tomorrow's going to be a better day. So yeah, the hope is always there. Yes.
That was so good. She's like, we're being little shits. That is so funny. Okay, I don't have any words. I think you both just slayed. That was everything I needed to hear. Last thing, let's take a picture before we run out. Smile! I'm totally blinded by this light. But if you are one of my PS coaches, just re-click the link. But guys, that was so awesome. I love just listening to you speak and just watching you grow like as you're speaking. It's so good. So thank you guys for hopping on, and let's fucking slay this week, okay? Don't let the last 2 days go away. Go ham. Go change a life. Go change a life. All right? I love you guys. Bye.